Squawkbox right here in D.C. this morning. Israel and the U.S. launching a new wave of attacks on Tehran today. Joining us now with the latest, North Carolina Republican Senator Ted Budd. Good morning to you. I'll ask you the question we've been asking all morning. How and when do you think this all ends?
Well, as soon as possible, and coming in the way President Trump did, decisive, bringing in as many regional allies, the Gulf cooperation. I think we'll get this done within a month or so. But again, you have to be ready for the long term, but you have to act as if it's you're going to get this done as quickly as possible. So I think President Trump does not like forever wars. The American people do not like forever wars. So let's get in, let's get this done, let's get the region stable, and let's get back out.
We heard from a number of Democrats in the past couple of days that have participated in some of the classified meetings, come out of those meetings and suggest that potentially there could be a boots on the ground scenario. Do you see that?
No, again, we don't like boots on the ground. We just came out of Iraq and Afghanistan a few years ago. I think what you do is you get air superiority, and that's what we're doing. And we're only a few days into this, less than a week. And we're already deep into Iran. We're essentially shooting what shoots at us. And if you do that, then you actually don't need boots on the ground. But at the same time, you don't want to ever telegraph to your enemy what you will or what you won't do. So the president needs a range of options, and I think that the Department of War has given him those range of options. But at the same time, the president is well aware that we don't want boots on the ground. We don't have much of an appetite for that in this country. Are we capable of it? Yes. Do we have well-prepared troops, the best in the world? Absolutely so. But we don't want to have to use them. But again, they have to be on the range of options that the president has at his disposal.
The former ambassador, Michael Froman, joined us this morning, and he made the point that Israel may very well want regime change more than we ultimately do. And which raises the question whether you think there could ever be a divide there. If we don't get regime change, what happens?
Well, that may be a strategic byproduct, but what we really want, we want stable trade. We want a non-hostile actor that doesn't chant death to America, that doesn't combine the increasing proliferation of ballistic missiles plus nuclear enrichment. They were going after the nuclear bomb that had been a decades-old aspiration. They were weeks away from it. So I think if we go after the core of the issues, the regime change takes care of itself. Not our main issue, but again, it's stability, it's safety for the American people, and if there's a regime change involved in that, so be it. But ours is about prosperity, security of the United States.
I wanted to get your thoughts on this fight taking place between the Pentagon, Anthropic, and increasingly now OpenAI in the middle of it. Where do you land?
Look, I don't want these great, talented companies to start talking past the Department of War. But let's remember, they're not the arbiter of defense policy. We want the Department of War, which is civilian-led, to be making these decisions. We don't want engineers. We don't want people that are out there seeking investors in Silicon Valley to be making war policy for the United States. We want them to communicate. We want them to say, we're going to allow all lawful uses. And really, I mean, who would want their product to be used illegally? That's probably in every end user agreement to begin with. So all lawful uses, that's determined by the Pentagon and the policymakers there. I think they're talking past each other, but let's get everybody in a room. We even think there's probably some re-engagement going on between Anthropic and the Department of War. That's great. These are all talented companies. Each of these companies and each of these AIs have unique strengths and capabilities, so we need to have access to all of them from the DOW's perspective.
Senator, Joe wants to jump in, but I just have one question that relates to this. Do you believe that this is political? Anthropic does have, at least in this immediate moment, I think arguably the better product out there. And the CEO of Anthropic, in an internal memo, said that he believes that the company's been targeted, quote, because we haven't donated to Trump and we haven't given dictator-style praise to Trump, while Sam has. Sam as in Sam Altman.
Yeah, look, Dario's been here on Capitol Hill. I've had lots of conversations with him, lots of conversations with Sam Altman. And again, these models that they've come up with, they have unique strengths to them. I wouldn't want to say one's better than the other, but it depends on the application that you're using. I use all the tools, and I'm very impressed with them. But the DoD application, the Department of War applications are very different than what you're going to need in a legislator type role. So I think it's a great model. Is it political? I'll let them decide that. Let's get beyond politics. Let's get the best tools in the hands of the Department of War so that we can bring this thing to a quick conclusion.
Senator, we all understand the political world, obviously, and how things work, like it or not. But the couple of people in the Journal just said the quiet part out loud. The Democrats' instant no. A savvier party would have waited before lashing out against the attack on Iran. That's one piece. The other one is the Washington-Iran war pessimists rarely have so many seemed so eager to predict America's defeat. And, you know, I even saw John Fetterman, the only one, I think, maybe there are a couple others. I guess we got Josh Gottheimer. But, you know, it is, you don't need both hands to count the number of Democrats that are even just the slightest bit open to ending something that's been going on for 47 years. Here's what I'm getting to, though. That is not going to quiet down. And as each casualty or death happens, the din is going to get louder for what we're doing over there. How much resolve do you think the American people have to stay the course when you're going to be constantly hit by the entire Democratic Party, the media, everything else that we shouldn't be there?
Well, I think it's different than the 2003 Gulf War, where the American people were instantly behind this. They understood this. I think the facts are actually better with us in this conflict. We come out fast. We come out quick. We've been very successful in the early days. From the game plan that I'm seeing, I think we will be ultimately successful very soon. But I think the American people who are a little skeptical from what's happened in prior decades need more information. When I look at what CENTCOM is posting or the Pentagon is putting out and the president's talking about, I think he's now making the case to the American people. And again, I would say it's because the American people didn't have the information up front, nor could they have. A lot of us on Capitol Hill didn't have the information up front. But they're telling the people now. I think the American people are understanding what we're doing, why this is for their safety, how it affects putting more money in their pocket, making them more successful, safer back here. This is somebody that has not only threatened gaining nuclear missiles and death to America, they've threatened our homeland. It's still a concern right now. So I would say, look, President Trump has what Thomas Paine used to say: if there's to be trouble, let it be in my day so that my children might have peace. President Trump wants a peaceful America. He wants a peaceful world, but he's willing to deal with problems in the short term. I think once people understand that, then they'll be with the president in this, and I think he's going to get their support.
Okay.
Senator, want to thank you. Appreciate it. It's great to see you, and appreciate your perspective on all of this.